Well, this feels weird and wonderful and marvellous all at the same time. I never intentionally meant to disappear for the last 6 months. I it's 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 always a bit hard to say you were struggling, even with the amazing people in your lives, and I was struggling, and I couldn't put myself out there. And to cut a long story short, I finished 6 months of therapy at the end of April, and it was really, really, really beneficial for me. I don't think I'm back to my regular self yet, not truly. I am still battling myself on a nearly daily basis, but it's nowhere as bad as it has been in the last 2 years, which, is good. That's really good. And I'm super grateful that I managed to push myself to reach out and get help, because it was really, really hard. The first time I did try, I was kind of rejected and I didn't get the help that I expected. And so to, then push myself again to try again to get help was worth it. And I just want to say, if you're struggling too, I know how hard reaching out is, and it is so worth it. Therapy really helped me, and I do recommend trying it. I did CBT therapy for, I think it was about 14 or 15 sessions. I got kind of like well-being practitioner help in the summer of last year, of 2022. So like the July, August, September time, somewhere around there, I got 4 or 5 sessions, and they realised that I needed more help. So then I got pushed through to seeing an actual therapist, and that didn't start until November. And because it was the middle to end of November, and then there was Christmas and bank holidays, and my sessions were on a Monday. So until like the last 2 sessions, my sessions were on a Monday, and so all the bank holidays cancelled all my sessions, and there was my birthday week, and there was holidays, and yeah, it stretched into 6 months worth of therapy, which I honestly think was the most beneficial for me, because originally you're just meant to get 12 sessions, and those 12 sessions are supposed to be one every week, and it's meant to be about 3 months, give or take, because obviously, if you are sick and you miss a session, or they have a holiday, or there were strikes as well while it was going on, and my therapist had to reschedule a couple of times because she had to have she had unexpected childcare and stuff like that, and that's fine. Those strikes were really unexpected, but imagining trying to get those sessions into just 3 months, I don't think I would have had the same impact on me as it did having them stretched for 6 months. So yeah, the 6 months worth of therapy was really beneficial for me, and it really, really helped. And I tried to get back into showing up online last October and December, but honestly I just couldn't do it. It was just hard, and I'm a full believer of, if it's hard, then I don't think you should force yourself to do it, or you should, if it's hard, I don't think you should do it. Okay, if it's like really hard, and it's not just getting out your comfort zone hard, it's just, too much, I just don't think you should do it. So I didn't do it, and now things feel better, and showing up showing up feels easier than it did when I was trying to show up before. It feels so much easier, and definitely easier than being than showing up here feels so much indefinitely easier than being on Instagram, which I'm still really struggling with, basically. And I feel a lot these days when 7 months ago I felt numb, like, to everything and anything. I just felt everything felt hard, and I felt like I was, wait there, I've written it down. I felt like I was swimming in a sea of mud, and there was a constant weight on me that I just kept dragging me down. That is what I wrote in a journal entry, and yeah, it's not a good feeling. My emotions fell out of touch as well, and like they were behind a brick wall that I just couldn't break down no matter how hard I tried. I honestly feel therapy really helped me, and it helped me with my digital well-being, which I know is slowly becoming a bigger thing now. I think we all need to know more about digital well-being, and to learn more about how the internet and social media are impacting our mental health and impacting our daily lives, and how we need to set better boundaries around our online digital lives and set downtime on our phones to not be able to access apps first thing in the morning or at bedtime, and even deleting apps for periods, and taking breaks is important too, to not, constantly be online. And that's one of the things that one of the first things I worked with both my mental health well-being people. I've signed up to a short course to learn more about digital well-being, and it's really interesting. I've only done the module intro to the course so far, and I'm really enjoying it, and I find it really interesting. I've also learned that spending time outside is really beneficial for me and my mental health. I feel like this is like an obvious no-brainer, but I work from home and I have a chronic illness, so getting out hasn't always been the easiest and most viable option. And honestly, I do have to push myself some days to get out of the house, to get out of my comfort zone, and that's okay. That's completely okay. I don't need to beat myself up over it, or punish myself for taking it slow, or that there are some days that I just can't leave the house, and that's okay too, because everyone's very much into habits and building habits, and let's go out 5 days out of the 7, and oh no, I've broken my streak because I can't get out on the 3rd and 4th day. Oh no, it's all over, blah. It's just forgetting about it necessarily being a habit, and just doing it as much as you can when you can, and if you can't, then that's okay too. And yeah, setting habits around that for me didn't work, and that's one of the things that I realised as well. I also realised that spending time with my family is way more important than I originally thought, and sometimes it might not be as balanced as we would like, and that's okay too. I spent a big time figuring out what brings me joy and what makes me happy and what lights me up, and that it was okay for me to spend time figuring those things out, and figuring out what makes me happy and what doesn't, because I need to matter to myself first. I've delved a lot deeper into my personal values instead of just focusing on my business ones. And would you be surprised to know that my top 3 personal values are love, kindness, and humour? And humour isn't necessarily about making jokes. It's about laughing and teasing myself and others and making people smile and bringing lightness to situations. But it's also about making myself laugh, which helps me realise that life doesn't have to be taken quite so seriously, which has been an honest bit of fresh air for me personally. I also just want to say that I have no idea if this is related or not, but for the past 3 years I have been doing a fake menopause to manage my endometriosis. That I got the first injection in February 2020, literally before everything happened, and this was my 5th time doing a fake menopause. Yay me. So not. And because this was the 5th time I was doing a fake menopause, I was told that I had to go on HRT, and I read online, and it even states it in the, the leaflet side effects things, that, these 2 things, even combined, could have impacted my mental health struggles and affected by, doing those 2 things for such a long period of time. Because normally when I'm on my fake menopause, it's generally for about 6 months, and then you come off for about 6 months or a year, and then you can go back on again, and it's a on and off situation. But because I did it for 3 years, that may have impacted me harder than I anticipated. But whether that's true or not, I can't honestly say. But what I can say is that I'm now 2 months post having both of those injections after 3 years, and I feel so much lighter now than I did before. And that brick wall that was a barrier to my emotions has finally started to crumble, and I'm starting to feel like myself again, more than I have done in the last 3 years, which is really good. And along with that health note, I need a drink, sorry. And on with that health note, I've been doing, my fake menopause is called the Pro Strap, and it's one of the 2 types of fake menopause that you can do. And the other one is Pro Strap and Zoladex. When I was 19, many years ago now, I did Zoladex for 6 months, and within the first 6 months I got a period, so I came off it. And then it was many years later I went and did my first Pro Strap, and Pro Strap worked for me. If you have endometriosis and you decide that you want to do the fake menopause, there are obviously the 2 injections, and you can decide and try and play around with those 2 to see which one works for you. Because I've had some people be the opposite of me and be on their Pro Strap and then have periods, and then have done the Zoladex. And those injections are painful. It's a really big, thick needle that goes into your stomach every month, or you can do it when it's every 6 months. Usually they do it every month, but you can do it every 3 months, which is less needles in my opinion, which is always good, because I'm kind of over needles nowadays because so many injections. And I can't remember what I was saying. So I was having these injections. Oh, it hurts, it makes it sting. You can get it in your arm, your stomach, or your butt. Most places go for your stomach. there can be bruising, it can look a bit like a bee sting on the area that you've been injected with. But I will be completely honest here and say, for the last 3 years that I've been having these injections every 3 months, an MRI that I had towards the end of last year, was it MRI? No, it wasn't an MRI. It was a CT scan. It was a CT scan that I had towards the last quarter of last year, showed that it had reduced my endometriosis and reduced a cyst that was on my ovary as well, so they have gone down. My pain levels have decreased significantly. Like, my pain levels are so much lower now, and I have barely had any flare-ups in the last 3 years. Like, that's just amazing. But with every upside, there are downsides, and I will be completely honest here and say that clearly the biggest downside has been my mental health struggles and intrusive thoughts, and not understanding a lot of that, and being quite scared and overwhelmed and just struggling. And on kind of like, that would be my higher, like my top, like biggest struggle with all of that. But then under that would be, I got diagnosed with early set arthritis on both my knees so far, and then that would be like middle ground. And then at the bottom there would be weight gain. I've put on quite a lot of weight, but it's not just due to the HRT and the fake menopause, because both of those can make you put on weight. I usually put a stone on when I do the fake menopause anyway, but I'm also on another medication that also gains weight, so I've been on 3 medications that make you gain weight, which has sucked. And probably another one back up there with my mental health has been like the loss of myself, which has possibly gone hand in hand with my mental health, maybe. It has been a really long journey from where I was in 2021 when I first started struggling with mental health to where I am now in 2023. I also no longer feel burnt out, which is something that I didn't realise I was struggling with really badly in 21, I think it was. I don't feel depleted as much. I don't feel like an empty shell of myself. I'm starting to feel myself again, and while this is amazing and excellent, there is, as I said, there is always a downside to your upside. And my downside is that I am most likely going to start getting sick again in the next, if I'm lucky, touch wood, touching my table here, I will most likely start getting sick again in the next 4 to 6 months. But that is life, is it not? And going forward, I'll be doing these sort of episodes quarterly, where I'll also dive into my goals that I was doing on YouTube. I was doing monthly Notion goal resets, monthly goal setting and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that quarterly, and I'm going to look at my goals. I'm also going to be looking at what I've been working on and what I've been creating and selling, and maybe I'll talk about income too. I'm not sure. We'll see. There is so much more that I could say, but for now, let's chat about where I'm going to be online, because yeah, not been really showing up on much anywhere for the last like 2 years, 3 years. So there will be these weekly podcasts, which are video podcasts. You can find the matching ones on my YouTube channel, or you can listen to them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and I can't remember where else. I will also be showing up in emails. I'm not sure how often at the moment. I'll be completely honest with you about that. Definitely monthly, if not more frequently. I do not know right now. And I will occasionally be popping on Instagram, sparingly though, because it's still not, it still doesn't feel right for me right now. It just still doesn't feel like it's a good fit. And I am trying out Threads at the moment and I'm really enjoying it. So if you're on Threads, come and holler at me and we'll connect, because I'm really enjoying Threads at the moment. Just a bit of fun and lightness, and it just feels less chaotic on my brain at the moment. I'm working on rewriting my one-on-one packages right now, where you can work with me for 75 minutes, where we can reconnect, because the package is called Reconnect. So you can reconnect with yourself. So you can reconnect yourself with your why, your values, and your online life, where we can discuss your vision and explore how you can reconnect with your business, working on your business your way, on your terms, in a way that suits you. Over the course, can tell that I'm done now, can't you? Over the course of 8 sessions spanning 4 months, we can work together to develop a comprehensive plan to help you reduce your time on social media, but also allows you to channel the energy you found into other areas of your business. And that is called Unravel. Also, a fun little thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a Ask Ali segment, where once a month I'll be answering your questions. You can be anonymous or you can leave your name. There is a link in the bio, there is a link in the show notes for you to submit your question. And if you're ready to ask Ali, you can ask whether it's something. Should we do that again? Because that was just a big blur for me. If you're ready to ask Ali, whether it's something you're struggling with or something you're working on, then please feel free to ask. Covering topics to do with running a business with less social media, marketing without social media, digital well-being, mental health, goal setting, trusting your intuition, creating habits and routines, minimalism, but it's probably going to be more like digital minimalism, self-care, and living a slow, intentional life. This is kind of going to be like subject to change as I kind of play around with this a bit more as well. There's a link, as I said, to the form for you to ask away, and ideally I'd love to do these once a month, depending on the length of questions and how many I get. As I said, the link is in the show notes, so please feel free to ask away. Okay, you amazing human beings, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to ask away, and I will see you.